Hello students. Hello students. In the chapter Conservation of Plants and Animals, we have studied that what is extinction and what are the different causes behind it and what are the different animals that are already extinct. So due to disease, due to climatic change, also due to meteor. So there are different causes behind the extinction, but unfortunately we are also responsible for the extinction of the animals or mammals. So here in this lecture we will discuss endangered species and endemic species. Okay, so let's start. Now, as I have told, extinction, that means the disappearance of the, just a minute, let me take the pointer. Okay, so extinction means that disappearance of one species. That means it's in no other generation of its species, this type of species is present now. So this is extinction. Now, several examples also we can give, like passenger pigeon. Here, these are not present now. Dodo, and Tasmanian tiger, fuzzy white dolphin. So these they are now extinct. Now, also we have different stellar sea cow and mammoth, great auk, saber-toothed cat. Here you can see that mastodon, ancient bison. It looks like this one, American lion, western camel. So these are the saber-toothed cat here. These are extinct animals. These are now extinct. Okay. So now, whatever the reason, but it is very true that now we cannot see those animals still now. Okay. Now, the endangered species. Now, International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is IUCN, enlisted some species are endangered species. But before going to this, we have to know what do you mean by endangered species. Or you can ask me that, ma'am, what is the endangered species? Now, this can be defined as those species which are under risk or threat or being extinct. That means this type of species, this type of animals, these are under threat. That means a few of these animals, they are now available, but this is a very critical condition that they are in risk and they may be disappeared after a very small time. So these are the endangered species. And in species which are about to extinct, they are not extinct, but a few or very small numbers are present till now. But it is if the disappearance will happen like this, then once we can see that these will go in the extinct animal list. So many factors are responsible for this, as we have told, some natural factor and some man-made factor also, because we require civilization, we require industrialization, we require more homes, so that the forest that we are the forest that will disappear to fulfill our whatever the requirements. So endangered species are they will disappear if we are not taking any action so that they should be here. Okay, so these are the endangered species. Now here several endangered species already it has been shown in the figure, like bark coated forest, and here you can see this elephant and Javan rhinoceros. and there are so many species are there which we will go for the extinction. Because in this way, if there will be no forest and there will be no tree, at that time you can see that they will be extinct at that time. So a species which was native to a region and its population strength reduced from 50% to 5%, that we are calling these are endangered species. Where 50% was there, the population of this species, but it becomes low. And how much low? That is 5%. So 5% of those species only we have, they are alive till now. So these are endangered species. And IUCN that categorized them and made a list called a red list, called a red list, called the red list. Okay, because these are going to be disappeared. Now, the factors which affect the endangered species, why they are going for this endangered species, they are moving towards extinction, Why? This is a big question. Why? So different factors we have, like risk the survival of animals and planets for hunting. We are hunting. Loss of habitat. They are not getting the comfortable area. Always there is a fear of hunting. Climate change. Whatever the temperature they require, that is not maintaining. Some diseases also there. And one thing is that if they are suffering from any disease, then it will be transmitted to their newborn babies also. And it has been seen that it is uncured. And pollution also is another point. And other natural calamities also there, like we can have tsunami. Okay, we can have tsunami, we can have other meteors also, so some bombardment on the earth also. So due to these factors, the endangered species, they become endangered. That means 5% of them are alive now. 5% of them are alive now. So what are the factors? That's the risk of survival of the animals. This is important. Hunting, always you are hunting. We are not, we so many restrictions we have, so many rules, regulations we have, but still there are some hunting plants and loss of habitats are there, climate changes are there, diseases are there, pollution is there, natural calamities are there. So that means a huge number of huge reasons are behind this. So species which have limited population strength are more likely to become endangered. Presently, rate of extinction is also much faster than before, because one point is acceptable, because rapidly we are going for industrialization, and we are going for industry, so that less amount of less of forest area we have. So if you have less forest area, that means less amount of animals should be there, because the forest is the most reliable and most safest place to live for them. But we are just snatching that thing, and these are the mainly consequences of human activities like deforestation, industrialization, these things we are doing. So deforestation, like I have told earlier also, we are doing because the population of human is also increasing. And if the population of human is also increasing, then we require more cultivation, because more crop grains requirements arises. So due to this, whatever we are doing, the cultivation land we should increase. How we can increase? Just One simple way, you can take the handover of the forest and you can wash all the trees and you can make the cultivation agricultural field there. This is one point. Another point is that industrialization. So whenever you are doing the industrialization, that is also important because huge population we have, and unemployment is a disease of this huge population. So due to the employment, first thing, industrialization we are doing for several purposes. First is the employment, second is the production of the required items, production of the required items. So that's why we are doing the industrialization. So production of the required items, whenever we are just running for this thing, we can see that we are reducing number of forests as well as we are increasing carbon dioxide and CFCs also. And this climate is not at all healthy for any animals, and they cannot survive if their adaptation capability is not so much high. At that time they cannot survive. So that's why for these species, which are endangered species, now we are calling endangered species, that means what, their population becomes 5% only, that we are responsible also. That this the responsibility we can give on the shoulder of other animals also, predators also. We can give a little bit reason, that is climatic changes, disease, but pollution, that we are doing the pollution. So and loss of habitat, we are doing this thing because we are just reducing total area of the forest. So we are responsible for this. Next, some of the endangered species that are greater horseshoe bat, laggerhead turtle, Siberian tiger, white-tailed eagle, bluefin tuna. These are the some endangered species. And as per the current status, about one fourth of all mammals, these are endangered species now. That means these may go to for the extinction. Next step is the extinct species. So this will not affect only the ecological values but also the economical, legal and ethical values also. So entire globe will lose its equilibrium. Whatever the ecosystem, this ecosystem, if it will break, if you break this, then you can see that there is a huge problem we have to face. And there we lose its equilibrium since they are the sources of food, medicines. So these, because they are the animals, the mammals, one fourth of all the mammals, they are endangered species now. So why this if this ecosystem will break, then you can see that we will also feel that scarcity of the food. We will also feel that there is no medicines, because these medicines, these are also we are making with the help of them. So you can see that sometimes we are taking different toxins from them. So we are taking these things. So we can see that the ecosystem will not be maintained at that time. There will be a very the entire globe will suffer for this. So the main objective of conservation, that is we have to protect the endangered species. We have to protect all species, but especially we have to keep our eye on the endangered species. More awareness camp should be there. More awareness camping should be there. More awareness campaign should be there. More importance of the life, importance of wildlife. That's why it has been given in your syllabus. So from class 8, you will be more aware why we require the wildlife. Why you, if you are going for hunting, then only once you will memorize this thing, and you should not do that thing. So this thing is very important. That's why the conservation, that is most important. And the conservation, it is not a job of a single person. We have in our country both the government and non-government organizations, but still every human being, they should protect the endangered species. They should not take part in hunting. They should be they should spread the awareness to all of us. They should spread the awareness to all of us that what is the importance of life. Why the ecosystem, if ecosystem will break, then what will happen? So the and wildlife films, wild photos, documentaries, posters, everything we are doing, we are just doing everything we are including to create the awareness among the public. but still but still more awareness we require, and so that the endangered species, they should not go for the extinct species. So this is the main thing why we have to do the conservation. First thing, we have to save the ecosystem. Until unless we will be sufferer, we'll not get the proper medicine, we'll not get the proper food. So we will be sufferer if we break the ecosystem. So there is no alternative here. And if we increase the carbon dioxide with industrialization, all these things, it is not like that. We are just reducing the total amount of animals. We are reducing our age also. We that is affecting us also. So many diseases are spreaded over to us. So that thing, so many things that wildlife we require to avoid all those things. So that wildlife photos, wildlife documentaries, posters, everything we are doing, and so many movies also you can see that uses the some animals, and they are protecting their masters. We can see so many films also, so many movies also. So in this way we are just trying to spread the awareness and of the importance of the protection of the wildlife. We are doing this thing. Okay. Now, what are endemic species? What are endemic species? Endemic species are those with restricted distribution. Okay, so these are endemic species: tiger, wild dog, and there are black buck, Asiatic lion, golden lager. So endemic species, these are those with restricted distribution. Endemic species is not necessarily rare and restricted to a small range, and this is dependent on the area over which endism is measured. Large ground finch is endemic to the Galapagos Island. So these are endemic species. That means these are the endemic species which are restricted. There are some restricted distribution here. These are endemic species. So what are endangered species? Now, endangered species is a species that is very likely to become extinct in the near future. Okay, either worldwide it may be, or in a particular political jurisdiction. So it may be, that means they are going to be extinct. Okay, so these are the endangered species. And endangered species may be at risk due to the factors such as habitat loss, poaching, and invasive species. So there are so many factors are there. So we should protect them. So endangered species are on the verge of extinction, whose survival is unlikely if factors causing their decline to continue to operate. That means they are sometimes it may be there are some habitat loss. There are some poaching due to the poaching and invasive species. These are invasive species, and these are different types of divisions also in their endangered species. First is the critically endangered, that is called CR, critically endangered species. And next is the endangered species, that is denoted by EN. And another is the vulnerable species, that is the vulnerable species. Okay, so these are the endangered species and whose number has been reduced to a critical level, and immediately we have to take the actions. So by the laws also they are taking care of these things. And like the examples of the endangered species are the Asiatic lion, Bengal tiger, snow leopard. These are the endangered species. Okay. So the International Union for Conservation of Nature, there is a red list. There is a red list. The global conservation status of many species. And in this list, all the name of the global conservation status has been mentioned there. And various other agencies also we have that says the status of the species which are going to be extinct and which are in a dangerous position. That means the number of these animals, these are in a number of these animals are in a dangerous position. And many nations have laws to protect the conservation reliant species, like forbid hunting, restrict land development, and create the protected areas for that particular species, so that this particular protected area they are feel they can feel comfortable. And some endangered species they are the target of extensive conservation efforts such as captive breeding also we are doing, and habitat restoration. See, this habitat restoration also using this we are trying to build up these endangered species to the normal species. Okay, so this red list is a very high alert that this we have to protect ourselves. In the red list, we have the Siberian tiger. This is an endangered tiger subspecies, EN. Okay, and three tiger subspecies are already extinct. So we should be very much careful regarding the Siberian tiger. Another is the blue-throated macaw. This is also endangered species of the bird. Then brown spider monkey. Brown spider monkey, this is also endangered species of mammal. And also we have Siamese crocodile. This is an endangered species of reptile. And we have American burying beetle. This is an endangered species of insect. And we have Mexican wolf. This is the most endangered subspecies of North American gray wolf. Approximately 143 are living wild. Only 143. Can you imagine what is the number after reduction? What is the number that is standing now? So these things, these already included in the red list, and we have to take care of all these things. That laws and regulations should be maintained, and that species under the index we have include. There are so many index of the associations: mammals, bird, amphibians, corals, and there nearer we have near threatened, least concerned status also, and vulnerable also, critically endangered also species we have a lot of. So we have to take care of all these things. In India, the Worldwide Fund India, that raises the concern in the longevity of the following animal species. The animals are what? Red panda, Bengal tiger, Ganges river dolphin, Asian elephant. And India signed the Wildlife Protection Act, and they also joined the Convention of the International Trade in 1976, then to prevent the poaching from harming its wildlife. So this we have done in India. And the in invasive species, the introduction of indigenous species to an area can disrupt the ecosystem to such an extent that native species becomes endangered. So, such introduction may be termed alien or invasive species. Now it is clear what is invasive species. Invasive species, that means the introduction of non-indigenous species to an area and can disrupt the ecosystem to such an extent that native species become endangered. So this is the invasive species, and this, in some cases, the invasive species compete with the native species for food on or prey on the natives. In other cases, a stable ecological balance may be upset by predation or other causes, leading to the unexpected species decline. So new species may also carry disease also, to which the native species have no exposure or resistance. Okay, so these are the endangered species, and we have to protect them, and we have to protect them just because we are afraid of that. We are afraid of one thing, that they will be go to the extinct. Okay, so that thing we have to stop. Now, what are the difference between the endangered and extinct animals? Extinct animals means now we cannot see this. There is no existence. There is no existence. No existence in earth now. Once they may have, but these are extinct animals. These are extinct animals. But endangered means these species which are going to be extinct, right? And which are required to be protected and conserved. These are called endangered species. So, which are required to be, they are, that means which are on the verge of extinction, on the verge of extinction, on the verge of extinction. So these are endangered species. These are endangered species. Okay, so or animals. This is the main difference. Extinct animals and endangered animals. Now the deforestation. So first reason why these endangered animals, why the animals are endangered, why they have gone for extinction, we cannot see anymore. The one reason is that deforestation. Deforestation, what do you mean by this? Deforestation means you have one forest, and whatever the trees inside this forest you have destroyed. It may be you have cut down, it may be you have just burned the whole place, or fire you have used, and so that the forest, there is no forest area. There is no forest area, right? So if I am just going to cut down one tree, that tree is a home for so many birds. If I am going to I am going to going for deforestation, that means I'm just, due to my work, it leads to habitat loss for any animals. So many animals are homeless, right? Because forest is the home. Foodless, no food, they are not getting any food. Another thing is that they are scared also. They are scared also. Suppose you just imagine the situation. You are sitting in your home, and suddenly you can see that there is some fire, and due to that, whole thing has been just the whole thing that become ash. So what will happen to you? You will be scared. So the animals, they are moving here and there, just to take any protection, just to get the any shelter. to get the shelter. So we are snatching their shelter. We are just, so the animals, they will be homeless, they will be, there's no food there, they are scared, they will move here and there, and some of the animals also, you are burning, you are just with the fire, you are burning also. So this is the deforestation. Deforestation, deforestation. Forest, there is no forest. So that is deforestation. So deforestation is the destruction of forest by cutting down the trees. By cutting down the trees. Not only cutting, sometimes we are applying fire there so that the whole place will look like this one. Okay. Now, what is deforestation? Here we are cutting these trees. So deforestation, it can be defined as the large scale removal of trees from forests for the facilitation of human activities. Suppose I require more agricultural land. I require industrial area. I require area for home. So for all these three, these are the requirements and these are the genuine requirements. I'm not saying that these are not the requirements. These are requirements and these are the genuine requirements. But we to get this to fulfill these requirements, what we are doing in a large scale, we are removing our tree. If I'm cutting one tree or two trees, then this will not hamper the ecosystem. But if you are just cut all the trees of a forest, at that time you can see that a large area of the forest, you can see that that is called the deforestation, and it's a serious environmental concern that it results in the loss of biodiversity. There is a diversity and biodiversity that will be lost, and damage to natural habitats, disturbances in the water cycle, soil erosion, all these things. So if I am just deforestation, that causes what? Loss of biodiversity, loss of biodiversity, and next, damage to natural habitats, damage to natural habitats. Number three, that is disturbances in water cycle, and also another thing, that is soil erosion, and also it causes global warming. Global warming. Okay. So loss of biodiversity, damage to natural habitats, disturbances in water cycle. Water cycle, you know that whatever the water and bodies we have in the earth, whenever there is sun heat, at that time that water will vaporize and it will go to the it will vaporize, and again as a rainfall it will come back to our water bodies, right? So this water cycle will be affected. Then soil erosion will be there, because you know that the root of the plant, that is the root of the plant that will just and the soils, they are attached to the root of the plant. And here you can see that if there is no plant, then the soil erosion, there will be some rainfall, then the soils will go away from one place to another, and you can see that there will be more soil erosion for wind also, the soil will go from one place to another place. So here you can see that so many problems will be arises due to the deforestation, and deforestation also cause the global warming, that is the climate change or global warming. Global warming will study deliberately. But before that, we want to concentrate on the deforestation. So what we have studied, that deforestation, that it can be defined as the large scale removal of trees from forest. But why we are doing? For the facilitation of human activities. But due to the deforestation, what happens? There are several effects also there. If there is a deforestation, this is the cause, but there are some impact also. Impact on the loss of biodiversity. Impacts are damage to natural habitats, disturbances in water cycle, soil erosion, and global warming. These are very dangerous impact of the deforestation. Now, why are forests important? So deforestation, we know that, but before that, why these forests we require and we have to love the forest? There is a different things. First thing, that is forest, that is the green, that will, the forest that combat the climate change by absorbing the greenhouse gases, that means carbon dioxide. You know that the plants, they will absorb the carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide less, if there is any forest, then it's a source of oxygen source, food, obviously, the leaves we are eating, the fruits we are eating. So also the animals which are inside the forest, sometimes we are eating that thing. So these are the food animals, and to make any medicine also, we require the leaves or any parts and other parts of the leaves and other parts of the plant. We require other plant parts of the plant also. And we can get clean water. Why? Because the root, they are the soil that is attached to the root. That's why we are getting the clean water. So we are getting oxygen, we are getting food, we are getting medicines, we are getting clean water. The water cycle will be maintained, the ecosystem will be good, and everything will be good. Atmosphere will be good. There will be no global warming, no temperature, no warm temperature is there, no warm is there. So these are the main thing. These are the main important thing that facilitates the forest, facilitates us using all those points, but this forest, we are going for the deforestation for our civilization. So the forest, why forest is important, I think it is very clear to you. So forest, what it will do? Carbon dioxide it will absorb, fine. So that there is pollution, that pollution means what? Your carbon dioxide and other dangerous gases will be high. So pollution is be less. Oxygen, we breathe oxygen, so oxygen is high amount of oxygen. It is the source of oxygen, because forest means what? Lots of plants, and they are giving us the food also, medicines also, clean water also, warm they are maintaining, atmospheric global warming they are controlling. So they play a vital role in water cycle also. They work to add water to the atmosphere via the process of transpiration. So what you need more? So many things they are doing already. Now, forest helps to mitigate the disastrous effects of floods. You can see that for the floods, what happens? The floods, the river bank and the floods. If you have the forest, that's why that's why you can see that mangrove, it will protect us from any floods or tsunami. Mangrove can protect us. So that mangrove growing, that is very important thing. And here that means forest that mitigate the disasters or affects the flood by acting as the flood water flood water sink. So that's why mangrove we are just trying to build up. Deforestation also increases the vulnerability of the landmass to certain natural calamities. And the soil erosion, also one important point, the soil erosion that can be can be avoided if we have the forest. So we require the forest for lot of things. The forest we can get the water cycle, maintained water cycle, we can get oxygen, we can get food, we can get medicines. The mangroves, those are helping us to protect us from natural disasters. And deforestation, they can also increase the vulnerability of the land mass to certain natural calamities. So we have then soil erosion also, it can check. So these are the many important points. And forests are home to over 50% of all known species of the planet. So 50% of the species of the planet, including us also, they are residing in the forest. That means we are, this is the home for them, and they account for over 80% of the land-based biodiversity. And globally, forests are home to approximately so many human beings also, because they are forest and they are living they are living that dependent on the forest. They are living for their economic activity. This is also depends on the forest. Now you can ask me how, ma'am? Yes, because you can see that there is a job to get all the fruits from the forest, and there is a honey. Also they are going to collect the honey from the forest. They are going to collect all the medicinal they are going to collect medicinal leaves also. So this is an employment also, and this is important thing also. So that's why this is the forest are home to approximately a huge amount of human beings, and they are also a source of raw material for paper, wood, fabric. These are the source of raw material. And approximately 1.6 million jobs are forest dependent. Just now I have described these are forest dependent. If I will say that I am working in a paper mill, that means directly or indirectly, I am dependent to the forest, right? If I am just handling with the fabrics, that means I am indirectly dependent on the forest. So forest also account for approximately 1% of world's GDP, gross domestic product. So here you can see that what is the importance of the forest here. Now the data behind the deforestation. Forests cover approximately 31% of the total land surface of the earth. So 31% of earth surface, that is forest. Okay. Now tropical forests harbor over half of the land-based animal and plant species in the world. Now between 2000 to 2012, over 568 million acres of forest have been claimed by deforestation. So 568 million, can you imagine this much acres of land, that deforestation, now this is not a forest land. And the Amazon rainforest, which is a source of 20% of the world's oxygen. Can you imagine in the world how much oxygen we require, because the population of the human is huge, and animals also we are huge. So 20% of the oxygen that will be supplied by the Amazon rainforest, and it loses approximately 1.32 acres of its area every minute. due to deforestation. Every minute due to deforestation. There may be some forest fire, there may be some other reasons also, there may be some ill motivation of other people also, but Amazon rainforest, now you can see that 1.32 acres of its area every minute due to deforestation we are losing. That means what actually we are doing? We are losing the oxygen quantity. That means in the atmosphere, the oxygen and carbon dioxide balance that will break. So that is the main important thing. In this slide, no need to remember whatever the data, but you just understand what is the now, what is the condition of the fault, or what is the condition and what we have done due to the deforestation and how much will be sufferer we are. So this is the deforestation and the impact of deforestation, and due to all these reasons we are always facing a lot of problems. Now, what are the human activities to cause the deforestation? Now, you can tell me one thing. Yes, what I can do? Tsunami came, and then tsunami came, then everything deforested, right? Now, you can tell me another thing due to flood, deforestation done. No, we are also responsible. We cannot deny our responsibility. We are expanding agriculture. We are logging, that means cutting the trees for use as a raw material, and mining also, our urban expansion also. If we can detect that yes, there is some very precious amount of precious metals are there. So this mining and urban expansion, we are doing this thing. So agriculture here, if we expand agriculture, that will affect on climate. There is some government regulation, logging, effects on animals, because there is no logging means cutting, you are just cut down the plants, so trees, so there is, you are making the animals homeless, and convince farmer to avoid the deforestation. Now cause is the desertification, and here affects the human, and here they are convincing the farmers to avoid this. And urbanization, loss of living space, that's why we are going for the urbanization, but it will, deforestation also we require, and afforestation will also require. Forest fires, whenever there are so many trees side by side, then forest fires may be there. Due to that, the effect is that loss of biodiversity, loss of biodiversity, and there is a change our consumption behavior. Mining also very important cause here. For mining, soil erosion, hydrological effects, floods, all these things happens. And so the solution is that we have to educate the people. We have to campaign that though we require the forest, deforestation is not the solution of the human civilization, or to enrich ourselves for the industrialization. So, and we have to convince all other peoples also, literate and illiterate people, deforestation is very dangerous for us. Till now, thank you. This much enough. So next, in the next lecture, we'll discuss rest of the thing.